Hi everyone, it's Lexi. Thanks so much for tuning in. Please remember to like and subscribe to my channel. Today I am going to talk to you gentlemen. I'm going to give you the secrets. Today's topic is going to be about the secrets that the modern woman doesn't want you to know. Sit back and relax. You know who I gotta exclude first. I gotta exclude people that aren't getting dates. I've gotta exclude the gentlemen that aren't ready for marriage. I've gotta exclude the gentlemen that aren't ready for a relationship. These tips are not going to apply to you if you know that you're not in the market for the modern woman on a serious level. Although I'm giving the gentlemen some advice, I still got to be down for my ladies, and I still got to advocate for relationships and for marriages, because for the most part, that's what we want. So I'm going to talk to you guys today. I'm going to get very real. Ladies, don't get mad that I'm giving the secrets. I just feel that we have to help the gentlemen just a little bit because we're like Mars and Jupiter and we're not able to get together properly and healthily in this relationship culture and in this relationship scene. So I really want to make sure that gentlemen know where we're coming from. I've got to reveal some of our secrets. Not all. Ladies, don't get mad. Not all. But gentlemen, sit back and be grateful because I'm going to give you guys the real. It's going to get spicy tonight. Okay, we're going to get right into the topic. Secrets. Gentlemen, what don't we want the modern woman? What doesn't the modern woman want you to know? The first one, sadly, and some of them we're going to cringe a little bit, but ladies, I got to tell the truth. The first secret is we want you guys to carry the financial load. Yes, I said it. We want you guys to carry the financial load. This is something that happily I'm able to freely talk about on this because the men that I've dated, the men that I've married, they were aware of this. I like to know that you're trying to help me take the financial load. Women just want a man that works. Women want a man that's making money. But we don't just want you to make money. We want you to make money and contribute to the household. And when we say contribute to the household, we really mean pay the bills. All the bills. And if you really want to be honest, spoil us on top of it. Maybe have us get our hair done. Have us get our nails done. Vacations. The children. I know, fellas, this is something that has been widely debated. I know we hear a lot of feminist channels and a lot of women say that they're okay with it. Okay, there are going to be women that say that they're okay with it. A, they're either lying, or B, they're probably just going to use it against you. I didn't want to say it, guys. That means that she's keeping score in her head. Yeah, she might be paying for things. She might be paying the bills while she's with you, but she's not forgetting. Those mental notes are calculating. The machine is going like Medea on that calculator, just, and we've made a mental bill. There's a mental bill in our head that gets printed every time that we're paying for things in a relationship where we're living with the significant other and or married to the significant other. Early on in the dating scene, I get it. Of course, people are going to do that. But the more serious it gets, the more she wants you to pay the bills. And then she still wants the freedom at the same time. I'm so sorry, gentlemen. I know that it's hard to swallow. I know it. So figure out a budget that works for you. Figure out a place that works for you. Figure out a lifestyle that works for you, that you're able to carry all the load without looking left or right. And that's just the reality of it. I'm sorry. I'm going to get into that topic more on another time, but I got to get to the next point. The second thing is whether we have daddy issues or not, you're either A, going to be just like her daddy. So if her daddy's a shitty excuse for a father, then unfortunately, she's probably going to see you in all the flaws and all the bad that you are. And then if she had an excellent father that she looks up to, like what I had, then you'll never amount to daddy. So you're kind of on a double-edged sword there. You know, you can't win for losing. The good news is that if she does have a successful father, or even if she does have a crappy father, the good news is that you want to make sure that you're outperforming him. I know that that sounds really competitive and messed up, but Usually if she had an average father that was just standard, but he was a great guy and he had a regular job, just make sure you're making what he made and or more. If she had a crappy father, the good news is that the bar is already set low, so you're probably already doing better than he did. But just remember that those issues that she has, hopefully through therapy it gets better, but it's always going to be that notion of my daddy was crap, so it's hard to find the trust given. It's hard to let the walls down. You might be pulling teeth a little bit more, but the reality is even when you get with the woman that had the great father, she might be listening to you. You might have given a 30-minute tutorial on, what's wrong with the car and what you think needs to be done. But if her dad was all that in bag shit, she's going to be thinking, okay, yeah. And as soon as you leave, Daddy, my car's not working. What do you think I need to do? Ladies, you know it's true. You have a good dad. He's always going to be the one you still want to go to. You have a crappy dad. You're looking at the man and you're hoping that he's not the same thing, and you're almost paranoid about it. So daddy issues or not, you're either going to be daddy or you're never going to be daddy. Ooh, I like it. You're either going to be daddy or you're never going to be daddy. Yes. Remember that, fellas. I'm giving you guys knowledge tonight. The third thing that I'm going to talk about is we're dating a lot of people. If she's somebody on the app or profile or somebody that you met and she's bada bing, bada boom, bada bam, chances are almost certain she's dating other people. She's entertaining other people. She's going out in the town. She's got that little black dress on for you and probably a whole bunch of other dudes that you're I'm just being real, guys. She's if she's walking like she talk it, walk it like I talk it. Hey, okay, yes. If she's all of that, she's dating other people. Just keep that in mind. I don't like to, bash fellas, but I just know, everybody knows that you guys don't get the same amount of dates that women do. And even if you do, you guys have a lot more investment involved. You guys have a lot more time where, for workloads and things like that, sometimes men have a lot on their plate, more on their plate, the higher up on the corporate ladder that they go or work ladder that they go. So you guys do have a lot more investment, which is probably why you guys pick better on who you want to take out. Women, because we're on somebody else's time and because we're using somebody else's money and we probably weren't doing anything anyway that night, we go out a lot more. So with that being said, we're going out a lot. You can kind of fill in the blanks. As far as body count and stuff, I know that's always a thing. Just be prepared to know that a lot of modern women are getting down with the get down. I'm not saying all. If some women have faith-based, like myself, they try to be particular or they're waiting for the right one. There are some that do that, but no foul, no play. Some women, if they're not saying anything, you know that she's going out. She's just so happened to be shaved like a pretty, like a fresh, shaved, smooth Venus commercial, and touching and everything, and she's ready to go, and she looks like she just came out of a Playboy magazine. Chances are she's getting down. Don't ask, it doesn't matter. She's gonna lie anyway. But just be sure to know that there is competition, and women are more intimate nowadays. Women are going out more nowadays. Women are getting a lot more attention nowadays due to the internet. So just keep that in the back of your mind when you're talking to her. Set yourself apart. And that's where I get to with the next thing is setting yourself apart. We're talking to a whole bunch of men on these sites, as you guys probably are as well. You're tired of hearing the same old song, and so are we. So how do you set yourself apart, gentlemen? You have to set yourself apart by owning what it is that makes you different. So if you're into your faith, be into your faith. If you're into your pet, be into your pet, which me personally is not my thing. I don't really like that, but at least you have something different about you. We can categorize you. Categorizing you is what's going to bring us into the next point is, unfortunately, gentlemen, we all have a hidden agenda. I said it. The next point is we have a hidden agenda. What does that mean? I think for men, you guys get on these dating apps, so you guys go out in the world, and even when you go to the bar or you go to a party and you meet a girl, you kind of categorize her as this is wifey material, this is fun material. Those are pretty much the two categories that a man goes. Women now, we see you and we might be using you. I'm so sorry to tell you, but yes, gentlemen, there are women that go out on dates with somebody because he's a band director and they want free tickets to a concert. There's a woman that'll go out with a man that owns a car dealership because she's trying to hustle a deal and get a car. And so she's going out with him long enough to get that car, get that deal, and then all of a sudden, oh, it's not you, it's me. There are women that get a man that may be in construction or home remodeling or real estate just to figure out a way to get their house on track, get their mortgage loan, use a loan officer, get something that they need. A lot of us date with a hidden agenda. The first thing we're thinking is, oh, girl, do you know he does this? Oh, I'm wondering if he can. We talk to our girls. You might be in the phone just on the back burner, fellas. I'm just letting you guys know that some of you guys are bragging about your job and we're just pumping it up. Oh, yes, honey, tell me more. And in the back of our mind, it's, yeah. Now, it's not all women. And I'm not saying that just because of your certain job that you're going to be used. I'm just saying if it seems too good to be true and you're wondering why she's so into you and you're probably just a regular above average job person and you're wondering why she's so intrigued and stuff, it could be that. So just be aware of the intentions of why she's going out with you. However, again, like I said in my last broadcast, if she's talking about marriage, if she's talking about children, fellas, don't be creeped out. That means she sees you as a hubby. That means she's ready to back it up. She's ready to back up her talk. But if it's just getting to know you and all of a sudden the perks that you have to offer just so happen to work itself out, then just keep that in mind, fellas. She might just be there for that, okay? The next thing is a lot of women are swirling nowadays, and men. That's the thing. There's so many swirl channels, and black women or black men. We're all doing it. Okay. Just because of the world being so much of an open place, let's not judge. Let's not get mad. Don't get in your feelings. Don't think, oh, there's anger towards your group. There's no hate. Just because a man or a black man in particular likes or attracted to Caucasian women or Hispanic women. And that's another thing we need to realize. It's not just always black and white, guys. There's a whole range of races out there. Try one, open one. There are different cultures. There are things that you can learn. I personally think, and the reason why I swirl is it's definitely a challenge. Okay, when you're with someone else, there's a challenge there. You're getting something that you probably wouldn't get from your own race. How do I say that? Why do I say that? Especially in black culture, we have a lot of movies that we've all watched, like Love and Basketball being one of them, Friday. There's just some movies in our culture. There's certain songs in our culture, Boys to Men, and some, Snoop Dogg, I don't know, songs that we've grown up to, and just little black lingos that we have that, if you get with another black man, of course he's watched it. He knows all these things. However, when you start to go across the colors of the rainbow and you see that they don't know what you're talking about. You might quote something from a movie and they're looking like you got three heads. Like, I don't know that movie. I don't know what's going on. And that's the beauty. The beauty is you gotta try harder. The little things that works for you in your hood doesn't work out in the world. The things that work in your community doesn't work. So at that point, you have to expand yourself. You have to expand your culture. You've got to read. You've got to watch a Latin film. You've got to watch an Indian film. You've got to watch a old classical film. Just different things that you probably weren't raised or exposed to that actually helps. I was blessed being around so many different cultures, being raised in France. However, the majority of people usually grow up in their communities, within their communities, and there's nothing wrong with that. That is changing, but I'm just saying swirling does add that culture. However, this brings me to my point number 5 when it comes to swirling. Actually, I haven't been keeping count, so I might be 5. Bear with me. The next point, fellas, is we're all manipulators and guilt trippers, okay? We're going to guilt trip you and we're going to manipulate you no matter what race we are. You hear so many things on different channels about, femininity and black women and white women. We're all doing it. We're just doing it a different way. The way that we package it might be a little bit more different. A black woman might be more aggressive. I give you an example. Okay, a black woman, the strong independent is, she's arguing with her man and, I don't need you. I don't want to be with you. And it's, that means I do need you. Okay. Or I don't need no man. I don't need to be with anybody. I could do this by myself. That means I'm hurt. And I wish that you would help me. Help. And so, you ain't nobody. I could do this. I mean, this could be talking to her man, trying to guilt trip him. You didn't tell me where you were going. You didn't tell me who you was going to be dealing with. You didn't tell me what time you were going to get home. And you might get the head bob. You might get all this. She's guilt tripping. She's guilt tripping. But all these things are really meaning, although she's saying one thing, she's meaning the opposite thing. You ain't nobody means you are somebody. I want you to see that you mean something to me. I know it's dysfunctional. I know it's messed up. But the guilt trip, that's just how in the culture it's been learned to do. Instead of showing weakness, this aggressive anger comes out. And before you know it, the exact opposite of what you say you don't want is what you want. And then at the end of the day, the man is sitting there, okay, so I don't know what to say. I'm nobody. You don't want me here. You don't know what I was supposed to be doing. I texted you what I was doing. I guess I'm going to leave now, so I'm going to leave. Oh, and here comes the climax. Oh, so you just going to leave, though? Oh, so you just going to leave? You just going to leave like that? That's how you trying to do me? Okay, so, all right then. Okay, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good means I'm bad. Okay, gentlemen, black men, back me up on this. This is not, a comedy scene. I'm not trying to laugh. I'm trying to be real with you guys. A black woman saying I'm good means I'm bad. I'm bad. I'm doing bad. I'm angry. I don't know why you're trying to leave. Stay. And then he might fold. All right, so you don't want me to leave then. Okay, I'm going to stay. See, so many people think that just because you swirl, that you don't know your community and you don't know how your women do and you don't know how your men do. And we understand relationships. I was raised by a black man. I have black brothers. I know the culture and I know how it goes. And y'all know, and you guys can back me up, that that's what it means. When she's getting all defensive, the climax hits, then the man ends up acquiescing and saying, okay, you take that to my beautiful white sisters, and you're still guilt tripping, you're still manipulating, but it's a different manipulation. And this is a little bit about how it looks. I gotta get in my white zone. And it starts off like, tissue, please. I mean, you didn't tell me you were gonna come home. I mean, tears aren't coming out now, guys. She's squeezing for that tear. It just can't make it. It's the little tear that couldn't. It's the little tear that just couldn't. And I mean, you just didn't show up home. I was worried sick about you. I thought you died. You see the guilt, guys? She was planning a funeral. He didn't hit her back for a couple of hours and he was dead. She took it to death, ladies and gentlemen. This is what happens. It's the same game. It's the same level of emotion. It's just delivered in a different package. And the guy, he's looking at her. Babe, I'm fine. I'm okay. This is our Caucasian brothers. I was okay, honey. I didn't mean to make you upset. I didn't know. I guess, he tries to solve it just like the previous. And, I guess it was something that I'm not going to do again. Sorry. She didn't get the response she wanted. She wanted him to feel worse. She wanted him to really understand that he needed to come home. She wanted to really understand that it wasn't going to be that easy to get off of her. She wanted him to really hit it, just like how that black girl hit it previously. And then the climax comes and all of a sudden it's, why did you I can't do this. I can't. And then before you know it, he'll never leave again. You guys know it's true. You got the guilt trip. You got the manipulation. Mind you, she's not really crying. There's not a tear coming down. She's just played this role and checkmate. As women, we've learned how to get our way, whatever the cost. So, fellas, it's manipulation, it's guilt trip. Just know we're trying to get you guys to understand, don't F with us. Don't do it. It's just that the black sister is so aggressive with it. She's telling you the opposite of what she really wants you to do. And the more intense and the more angry she gets, she feels that that's going to be the easier way for you to understand. Don't do it again. And then my white sisters are showing emotion in a different way, in tears, in femininity, in weakness. So I get it. You know, men prefer the sweet route, the crying route, the weaker vessel route. I get it. We're all going to the promised land, though. The results are the same. We're doing the same thing. We all have the same guilt trip. We all hit that same climax. We all end up getting our man to acquiesce to whatever it is we want them to do. Okay? It might not be the right delivery. I get it. It's Christmas under the tree. We want the package to be wrapped up as pretty as possible. But we don't want it to just be thrown under the tree and saying, okay, you know, the presentation does matter. So I get that men want that feminine, they would prefer crying. However, it doesn't help the man in the moment when he's trying to calm, whether it's the crazy black woman or the crazy white woman, whatever it is, and all the races in between, we all have our method of getting what we want. Okay? So let's just be real, guys. We're going all to the promised land. We're just going in different ways. We're just going in different ways. The next thing I'm talking about is that's one thing I wanted to note though. We're all the same. We're all the same. We're just delivering it in different ways. So what I wanted to speak about as well is gentlemen, especially the ones that are dating as fathers. Just be sure that you're checking who it is you're having around your kids. Okay, this is for the modern man. Like I said, a lot of the modern men, the men that are successful, maybe there are a lot of men in there that are divorced. I know online I see a lot of men that have children, or maybe you're dating a woman that has children. These are tips that I want you guys to know, that make sure the person is level-headed, that you wait until the right time to introduce them to your kids, that you don't bring them around your kids until you know for sure. Too many times we put it off on the woman's responsibility. And that's something also that happens a lot in black culture. And this is something that as black people, you've got to get better with, and we've got to get rid of the notion that it's mama's baby's papa's maybe. It's mama's baby, papa's maybe. I'm going to get real, you guys, tonight. I'm talking to my people tonight. I'm sorry for everybody else that I'm getting a little bit deeper in the soul. Just give me a side note right here. Black people, understand that it's only us in all of the communities in the world that put parenting on the mother and try to single out the mother. Every other race understands that it took two to tango. When you go on Instagram, when you go on social media, you'll see every other race announcing we're pregnant. We are pregnant. You'll see them with their announcement, their baby announcement. I'm not saying black people don't do it too. I'm saying the majority of every other race sees it as a joint effort. When you speak to men of different races, for my swirlers that know, and I'm not saying black men don't as well, but I'm just saying almost always in other races, it's our son, our daughter. And it's not the 80s. A lot of us black people are stuck back in the 80s and the 70s where judges were giving the kids to mothers like hotcakes. And mothers were just always it was a given that she was going to have the children. It's no longer like that, fellas. It's 2020. So you black men that are angry and mad and trying to single out, oh, single mothers, you guys need to wake up in reality, because you go to any regular courtroom and I just challenge you to sit down and you will see that men are getting children left and right. Joint custody is something. And in other races, it's not even a question about if the mother is going to be raising the child. They know that they're going to be a part of their children. So much so that when you date other races that have children, they're proud. Their kids are a badge of honor. The father sometimes get the child more than the mother. Me being my first husband, who was white and was raised by his father. It happens a lot in every other race. So we need to stop single mother shaming and look at the fathers. The fathers have a lot more at stake. And that's why I'm talking to even my men that don't have children. If you don't have children, but you know you want them, or you know that this is, you might have them, or you know you want them, it's the same thing for you. The same thing applies. It's your child just as much as it's the mother's child. Understand that. Don't let that be taken away from the fathers. You guys are giving away your last name, guys. You guys are giving away your seed. You guys are giving away your child support money too. You guys are giving up just as much, if not more, than the woman. Yeah, we carry the baby for 9 months, but generally, if it's joint custody, the way that a lot of the other races have done it, and they get their child 50% of the time, then you have just as much influence as the woman. So just remember that. And as Black people, particularly Black men, until you understand, and my father, he was with a woman 25 years after my mother. Not that long. Yeah, it was about 25 years. I would say 25 years after my mother, that had 2 children. Because when men are raising their children proudly with a badge of honor, and they don't see it as a cripple, they don't see it as a crutch, they love having their children, they co-parent healthily, and they have healthy relationships, then it's not seen as a burden as a mother, a single mother, or somebody else that has children. They're single fathers, they're single mothers. Usually it comes from the broke, angry Black men that sometimes have kids themselves, but they're just angry at their situation and their baby mama or their ex-wife or whatever happened, that they like to single out the women. And I'm just so happy to hear and speak to other men and see that their children are their pride. And this gives us hope for humanity, because in order for us to get forward as a race and as a culture, we have to understand the man's role. And men have to be proudly wearing their children as a badge of honor, speaking life into their children, speaking encouragement into their children, and not you bashing the single mother as a Black woman is almost like bashing your own community and where your Black men stand. Me personally, I'm just giving my opinion. My ex is completely Middle Eastern. So, it's not like, I'm raising 100% from a culture or community. I'm trying to teach her more about her South Asian roots and about her Middle Eastern roots and things like that. So I'm on a different program with my daughter. I've given her the Black culture, the Jamaican culture, but as well the Asian culture. But I'm just saying, I see too many Black people on these channels attack and say things that I know just doesn't make any sense. Fathers are just as important. So even if you don't have children, still know that choosing your wife and choosing the mother of your child is so important. But also remember that just like all these other women, she could end up leaving you, but your kids are still always your kids. And that's just my little note on it. That's all I want to talk about. I'm done with the single parent talk conversation. We're going to get back to the agenda. The next thing is, some of us women, this is another secret, some of us women just want the wedding, but we don't want the marriage. I said it, guys. Some of us women just want the wedding and we don't want the marriage. We're in a culture where we see our friends, we see our Instagram, we have all these timetables, we have all these numbers that we have to crunch. We're in a busy society where we're just checking things off the list. We feel like we need to own a home by this age. I know I had my age at 25. I checked that off. I wanted to be married by 25. I checked that off. I wanted to have my first baby by 30. I checked that off. Sometimes I'm guilty of checking things off. Weddings are one of those things, fellas. So make sure that she's not trying to stagger down the aisle for the wedding and not for the marriage. Make sure that the wedding is something that she's thought about as an afterthought after understanding the responsibility of being a wife. And too many women, as I give these examples, especially of these new age wives that are the fun and the friendly and the feminine and all these great things, a lot of them just wanted the wedding. which is why there's no substance and there's no depth and there's no ground and foundation. And like I keep telling you guys about the notes that it takes, the true long storm that it takes to be in a relationship and to be in a marriage. So make sure that as soon as you say something, it's not, oh, I got my Pinterest open. I'm going to have, pink dresses, white accent, flowers in the middle. We're going to do Chiavari chairs. We're going to have this people down here. I want the outdoor section for my reception hall. I want my ceremony to be down the middle. I'm ready for my groomsman to be my uncle. I want you, if when you discuss marriage, she started pulling out her Pinterest account, run, fellas. I'm trying to tell y'all. She wants the wedding. She doesn't want the marriage. She's done already compared you to my friend Casey had this, and she went here and she went there, and I know this one vineyard that I was already called, and I think their rates are about 400, but I'm not really sure because and she's done already. Run. Another sad truth, guys, is that 90% of dates, we're just going on to go on. Why is that? That's so sad to say, and I'm just being real with you guys. We're just going on them to go on them is because a lot of men are just so happy to get a date. They might be even attractive. They might be nice. I'm not saying that they're just happy to be with a date like they are not getting beautiful women. They're probably entertaining beautiful women all the time, but nothing's sticking. And that's mainly because you have to put in the work before the marriage happens, before the date happens. Why do I say that? A lot of people don't want to take the time to be on the phone, to do the FaceTime, to do the calls, to do all these different things. And as a result, you end up having a date that goes dry because everybody knows women think about what we're going to do prior. We think about what's going to happen prior. Oh yeah, we know what's going to happen before we even get to that date. We know what's going to happen. We know how it's going to end. So what does that mean, gentlemen? That means that if you don't put the work in before and save your time and save your money and see if there's even ever a connection, because 9 times out of 10, there's no connection on the phone, via message, or via FaceTime. There's not going to be any connection in person. So 90% of these dates could have been weeded out if you just put in that work before the date started. So just make sure you do that. And last but not least, as I told you, be careful she's not an alcoholic, men. You guys started off the date. You know, a lot of men are in this culture of let's go for drinks. Let's have a little bit of drinks. They like you a little tipsy because they want you a little frisky. You want to start off with getting a girl tipsy? Now we've got a culture where you go to breweries and these women are throwing back beers harder than the men. These women are drinking harder than the men. These women are holding their liquor. They're getting shit-faced drunk. They're getting wasted. They're saying things they're not supposed to be saying. They're blacking out. So many women are out of control, fellas. There are going to be memes out there. What started with just a few drinks, you ended up having a wife in rehab. You guys going to be outside the rehab, fellas. Guys going to be at AA meetings. What's the meetings for the people? The family anonymous. And you out there sharing the story. What went wrong? What went wrong with Susie? Start looking for the alcohol traits. Look out for those alcoholic traits, gentlemen, because if you have to keep on in this culture of let's go for drinks, you don't know. You might have an alcoholic on your hands. So those are our secrets. I told you what I could share. Some I have to save. But make sure that you keep those in mind on your next date, gentlemen. I am so happy to be able to share them with you. Take them with a grain of salt and use them in your life. Thank you for listening. Subscribe and like. Love you guys. Take care.